Guys, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are actually watching or listening from. So today, I'm back here to tell you guys a story. Okay. Previous this this morning, I came live and I came with tales of the continent, and I know most of you guys might have watched the live, might have been with me here supporting me. I still want to say thank you very much for being part of the people that are supporting me, not just watching and scrolling. Okay. So I'm back and I'm here to tell you guys a story. And the first story, I titled it The Girl Who Thought Love Would Change Him. It's an African folktale about why ignoring warning signs can be dangerous. In a busy town where motorcycles filled the roads and market women shouted for sunrise to sunset, there lived a young woman named Zainab. Zainab was known for her kindness. She respected people. She worked hard. She dreamed of building a good life and one day having a happy family. People loved her because she always saw the good in others. But sometimes, seeing only the good can become a problem. One day, she met a young man named Kunle. Kunle was handsome. He spoke confidently. He always knew the right words to say. Whenever he spoke, people listened. When he smiled, many girls admired him. At first, Zainab felt lucky. She believed she had finally found the right person. Their relationship moved quickly. Kunle bought gifts. He called often. He promised marriage. He spoke about their future together. Zainab was happy, very happy. But happiness sometimes make people blind. Not long after they started dating, the warning signs appeared. The first sign was small. One afternoon, Zainab saw Kunle shouting at a waiter in a restaurant. The young waiter had accidentally delayed their food. Kunle insulted him publicly. The waiter apologized repeatedly. Still, Kunle continued shouting. Zainab felt uncomfortable, but she quickly dismissed it. He was just having a bad day, he said. Months later, another sign appeared. Kunle became angry whenever Zainab spent time with her friends. Why do you always need them? He would ask. They are filling your head with nonsense. Slowly, he pushed her away from the people who cared about her. Her friends noticed. One evening, her friend noticed. One evening, sorry guys, I have to pause the music because I think it's much. Hi, dance girl. Hi, how are you guys doing? Thanks for watching. All right, are you sure about this man? What do you mean? I don't know. Something feels wrong. The friend told her. Sam frowned. You don't know him like I do. Amina remained silent. Deep down, she was worried. As time passed, more warning signs appeared. Hi guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Dance girl, I'm fine. I'm fine. Please, if you can hear me, type I can hear you in the comment section, please. Where can you guys hear me? Slim fat boy. Okay, can you hear me? Should I start the story from the beginning? Do you guys hear what I was saying? Hi. Alright, so let's continue. Sinap frowned. You don't know him like I do. Amina remained silent. Deep down, she was worried. As time passed, more warning signs appeared. Kunle lied frequently. His stories often changed. Sometimes he disappeared for days without explanation. Whenever Sinap questioned him, he became angry, then somehow convinced that was her fault. Instead of seeing the signs, she defended him. Instead of listening, she made excuses. And instead of walking away, she stayed because she believed something many people believe: love will change him. Then came the biggest warning sign. One evening, Zainab visited Kunle unexpectedly. She found him arguing with another woman. The woman was crying. As Zainab approached, the woman looked at her. You are dating him too? The words hit her like a stone. The woman explained everything. Kunle had been promising marriage to multiple women, telling each of them the same lies, making the same promises, playing the same games. Zainab felt her heart break. Still, she refused to believe it completely. Kunle apologized. He cried. He begged. He promised to change. And once again, she stayed. Months later, Kunle convinced her to invest her savings in a business opportunity. It was all the money she had spent years saving: her future, her dreams, her security. She trusted him. After all, they were planning to marry, or so she thought. One morning, Kunle disappeared. His phone was switched off. His apartment was empty. Nobody knew where he had gone. The business never existed. The money was gone. Everything was gone. For weeks, Zainab cried herself to sleep. She wasn't crying only because of the money. She was crying because deep down she remembered every warning sign she had ignored: the disrespect, the lies, the manipulation, the jealousy, the dishonesty, the excuses, the advice from friends, the uneasy feeling in her heart. The signs had been there all along. She simply chose not to see them. Years later, Zainab rebuilt herself. It wasn't easy, but she became stronger, wiser, more cheerful. One day, while monitoring young women in her community, someone asked her, what is the biggest lesson life has taught you? She smiled sadly. Then she replied, most disasters don't arrive without warning. The signs usually come first. You just have to pay attention. And the life lesson: life often whispers before it screams. Problems rarely appear suddenly. Most dangers announce themselves through warning signs. A dishonest person usually gives clues. A bad friend usually leaves traces. A scammer often reveals small hints. A toxic relationship often starts with small red flags. Many people get hurt not because there were no warnings. They get hurt because they ignored the warnings. Sometimes we ignore signs because we are hopeful, sometimes because we are afraid of being alone, and sometimes because we don't want to accept the truth. But the truth remains the truth. Whether we accept it or not, pay attention to actions. Action tells stories that word cannot hide. So my fellow friends, if you ignore warnings warning signs in the past and get hurt, do not spend your life blaming yourself. Every mistake carries a lesson. Every disappointment can become wisdom. The goal is not to become fearful. The goal is to become wiser. Do not let one betrayal stop you from trusting everyone. Do not let one bad experience stop you from loving again. Do not let one mistake define your future. Learn from it, grow from it, move forward. And remember, a scar is proof that a wound healed, and wisdom is proof that pain taught something valuable. The strongest people are not those who never make mistakes. The strongest people are those who learn from them. Just like an African proverb says, when the bush begins to shake, The wise hunter pays attention before the lion appears. Small signs often come before great trouble. Pay attention, listen to your instincts, listen to wise counsel, and never ignore the warnings that life placed in your path, because what starts as a whisper today may become a storm tomorrow. And that is the end of the story. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can hear. All right. Thank you so much, Slim Fat Boy. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for engagements. I really appreciate. All right. So we move to the next story, and I titled it "The Hyena in the Group Photograph." It's an African folktale about why not ev- is about why not everyone who smiles at you carefully. In a growing town where people spent more time on their phones than talking to their neighbors, there lived a young man named Chinedu. Chinedu was hardworking. He came from a poor family and understood the value of struggle. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise. Every night, he slept late. Little by little, his small online business began to grow. Soon, people started noticing him. The more successful Chinedu become, the more the more people appeared around him. People who had never spoken to him before suddenly became interested. People who once ignored him suddenly remembered his phone number. Among them was a man named Kelvin. Kelvin always smiled. Always. He smiled when he greeted people. He smiled during meetings. He smiled in photographs. He smiled when talking about other people's success. Everyone liked him. Or at least they thought they did. One day, Kevin approached Chinedu. My brother, I have been watching you. You are doing well. Chinedu smiled. Thank you. You remind me of myself. From that day, Kelvin became a regular part of Chinedu's life. He called often, visited often, helped occasionally, complimented him constantly. My brother, you are going far. My brother, you are intelligent. My brother, I am proud of you. The words felt so good. Who doesn't enjoy encouragement? Soon, Chinedu trusted him. He shared business plan, future projects, financial goals, private struggle, even family matters. Kelvin listened carefully, always smiling, always supportive, or so it seemed. Months later, strange things began happening. Whenever Chinedu planned something new, competitors somehow learned about it. When he prepared to launch a product, others launched similar products first. Private conversations somehow became public gossip. People began repeating things he had shared online with Kelvin. At first, Chinedu dismissed it. It must be a coincidence, he said. But coincidence became too frequent. One evening, Chinedu attended a business gathering. As he entered the hall, he heard laughter from a nearby room. One voice sounded familiar. Kelvin. Chinedu stopped. The door was slightly open. Inside, Kevin sat with several people. He was laughing. Then he said something that made Chinedu's heart stop. That boy tells me everything. The room burst into laughter. Kelvin continued. If I want information about his next move, I simply ask. Someone asked, does he suspect you? Kelvin laughed. Not at all. People trust whoever praises them enough. More laughter followed. Chinedu stood frozen. His chest felt heavy. The words cut deeper than a knife. Not because Kelvin was stealing information, but because the friendship had never been real. The smiles had been real. The compliment had been real, but the friendship was fake. For the first time, Chinedu understood something his grandfather used to say. A hunter smiles while feeding the goats he plans to sell. That night, Chinedu could not sleep. He replayed every conversation, every compliment, every promises, every smile, and suddenly he saw things he had ignored. Calvin never celebrated others unless he benefited. He enjoyed hearing people's secrets. He gossiped often. He spoke badly about absent friends. He competed with everyone. The signs had always been there. Chinedu simply chose not to see them. The next day, he quietly distanced himself. No fight, no argument, no revenge, just distance. Over time, he learned who his true friends were. True friends were not always the loudest. They were not always the ones giving endless compliments. Sometimes real friends corrected him. Sometimes they disagreed with him. Sometimes they told him uncomfortable truths, but they protected him when he wasn't present. They celebrated his victories sincerely, and they remained loyal when there was nothing to gain. Years later, Chinedu became successful beyond anything he had imagined. One afternoon, a young entrepreneur asked him, "How do I know who my real friends are?" Chinedu smiled and replied, "Watch how people behave when you are absent, not when you are present." And the life lesson: not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Some people smile because they genuinely care. Others smile because they want access. Access to your secrets, access to your opportunities, access to your resources, access to your trust. A smile is not proof of loyalty. Kind words are not proof of good intentions. Some of the greatest betrayals in life come from people who once sat at our table, ate our food, and called us friends. Character is revealed not by what people say to your face, but by what they do behind your back. Trust should be earned through consistent actions, not beautiful words. So, if someone you trusted has betrayed you, do not let that experience make your heart hard. Do not become bitter. Do not assume everyone is the same. There are still genuine people in this world. There are still loyal friends. There are still people who will support you without hidden motives. The answer is not to stop trusting completely. The answer is to trust wisely. Take your time. Observe people. Listen carefully. Watch their action. And remember that your value does not decrease because someone fails to appreciate your friendship. A good heart remains a gift. It simply needs wisdom to protect it. And the proverb says, the hyena can smile while walking beside the goats, but its heart is already thinking about dinner. Not every smile carries kindness, not every compliment carries love, and not everyone standing beside you is standing with you. Be kind to everyone, but be careful about who you allow into your inner cycle. And that is the end of this story. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Slim Fads, boy, Kobe. Thank you. Yeah, very true. Great lessons. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Think I still have one more story. I titled this story The Borrowed Wig. It's an African folktale about pretending to be someone you are not. In a busy town where social media ruled many lives, there lived a young woman named Ada. Ada was beautiful, not the kind of beauty people talked about because of expensive clothes or luxury cars. She had a gentle heart, a bright smile, and a hard-working spirit. But Ada had no one problem. But Ada had one problem. She constantly compared herself to others. Every day she scrolled through social media. She saw women wearing expensive wigs, women posing beside luxury cars, women traveling to beautiful places, women living lives that looked perfect. The more she watched, the less she appreciated her own life. Soon, she began feeling ashamed of who she was. One day, her friend Chioma visited. Chioma was known for dressing elegantly and always looking expensive. As they talked, Ada couldn't stop staring at the beautiful wig on Chioma's head. The wig looked flawless, long, shiny, and perfect. Seeing Ada's admiration, Chioma laughed. "Do you like it?" Ada nodded. "It's beautiful. Then you can borrow it for a wedding this weekend if you want." Ada's eyes widened. "Really?" "Of course," Chioma said. Ada thanked her repeatedly. When the wedding day arrived, Ada wore the wig. The moment she stepped into the event hall, people began staring. Some admired her, others complimented her. You looked amazing. You look rich. You look like a celebrity. For the first time in a long while, Ada felt important. The attention felt good. Very good. I mean, too good. As the day went on, people continued praising her. Instead of simply enjoying the compliment, something began changing inside her. She started believing the attention belonged to her, not the borrowed wig. Her confidence slowly became pride. Soon, she began pretending. When people asked where she bought the wig, she lied. When people asked about her lifestyle, she exaggerated. When people asked about her finances, she pretended to be wealthy. The lies grew bigger and bigger and bigger. By the end of the wedding, many people believed Ada was living a life she could not afford. The next week, she posted photo online. The pictures attracted hundreds of likes. Comments flooded in. Goals, rich queen, soft life. Ada loved every second of it. Instead of correcting people, she encouraged the illusion. Soon she felt trapped. People expected her to maintain the image, so she borrowed clothes she couldn't afford, borrowed jewelry, borrowed handbags, borrowed money. Everything became borrowed. Her real life slowly disappeared behind a mask. Months later, a wealthy businessman saw her social media profile. Impressed by her apparent success, he invited her to partner in a business project. During their meeting, he spoke about investments, assets, financial records, business growth. Ada sat quietly, sweat forming on her forehead, because the life she advertised did not exist. The businessman eventually discovered the truth. Word spreads quickly. People learned that many of the things Ada claimed to own were borrowed. The expensive lifestyle was borrowed. The luxury image was borrowed. The success story was borrowed. Even the famous wig that started everything was borrowed. The same people who once praised her began mocking her. The humiliation was painful, but what hurt most was not what others said. It was realizing how far she had drifted from herself. One evening, Ada sat alone and cried. She remembered the girl she used to be, the hardworking girl, the honest girl, the content girl, the girl who did not need expensive things to feel valuable. For the first time, she understood the problem was never the wig. The problem was the desire to become someone else. From that day forward, Ada changed. She stopped pretending, stopped competing, stopped chasing validation. She focused on building a real life instead of advertising a fake one. Years later, Ada became genuinely successful, not because of borrowed appearance, but because of hard work, honesty, and patience. And whenever young people asked for advice, she would smile and say, never build your identity on borrowed things. Many people today are living borrowed weeks life. Yes, I said it. Many people today are living borrowed week lives. Not necessarily with actual weeks, but with borrowed lifestyles, borrowed personalities, borrowed success stories, is. Social media often shows people the highlight of life in the struggles. As a result, many people feel pressured to appear successful instead of becoming successful. But appearance can only carry a person for a short time. Eventually, reality catches up. True confidence comes from accepting who you are while working towards who you want to become. You do not need to pretend to be rich to become wealthy. You do not need to pretend to be successful to succeed. You do not need to become someone else to have value. So, if you have ever felt inadequate because of what you see online, remember this. You are not you are not behind in life. You are not less valuable because someone else appears more successful. Your journey is different. Your timing is different. Your story is different. Focus on building a life that is real. Real peace is better than fake popularity. Real success is better than borrowed fame. Real confidence is better than public approval. Never let comparison steal your joy. The mango trees does not compete with the palm tree. Both grow in their own season. Your season will come too. Keep walking, keep learning, keep believing, and never exchange your true self for a borrowed wig. Because an African proverb says, the borrowed crown may impress the crowd, but only the owner can wear it forever. A borrowed wig may attract attention for a day, but character, integrity, and hard work are what sustains a person for a lifetime. Be yourself, build your own story, bear your own crown. And that is the end of the story. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Encourage the illusion. No. Thank you so much, Slim Fatty Boy. Thank you. I'm so happy that you are here. Your messages, your engagement is quite very encouraging rather. It's encouraging. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you. Very happy. Okay. All right, guys. Should I tell one more story or I should end it? Just come on live so you guys see my face. Sorry, I need to take water. All right, so let me tell one more story and then I will end it there for today. The title for this one is My Wicked Stepmother. It's an African folktale about jealousy, cruelty, and the power of endurance. Thank you so much, Fat Boy. Thank you. Thank you so much. In the village of Omwaka, people still whispered old stories whenever darkness fell. Stories of strange happenings, stories of things that could not be explained, stories that made children move closer to the fire at night. But among all the stories the villagers told, none was more frightening than the story of Chidera and her stepmother. Even today, some elders claim that on certain nights, when the wind blows through the old forest behind the village, they can still hear a young girl crying. Nobody knows if that is true, but everyone agrees on one thing. The story is real, or at least real enough. Chidera was only 10 years old when her mother died. The sickness came suddenly. Within weeks, the woman who had loved her more than life itself was gone. The house became quiet. The laughter disappeared, the warmth disappeared, and for the first time, Chidera understood that loneliness felt like sorry, and for the first time, Chidera understood what loneliness felt like. Her father, Obinna, loved her deeply, but grief changed him. He became quiet, broken, and lost. A year later, he married another woman named Mama Ifeoma. At first, she seemed kind. She smiled often. She bought gifts. She called Chidera her daughter. The villagers praised her. What a good woman! What a caring mother! What a blessing! But some people wear kindness like a mask, and masks eventually slip. The change began slowly, very slowly. At first, Mama Ifeoma gave Chidera more chores. Then she began insulting her. Then she stopped giving her enough food. Whenever Obinna was around, she acted loving. The moment he left, her face changed. The smile disappeared. The kindness vanished. Only cruelty remained. You are useless. You are a burden. You are just like your dead mother. Those words hurt more than the hunger, more than the work, like more than the beatings. Every night, Chidera cried quietly into her pillow, but she never told her father. She feared it would create problems, so she suffered in silence. Then strange things began happening, terrifying things. Every morning, Chidera woke with scratches on her arm, long scratches, as though sharp fingers had dragged across her skin during the night. At first, she thought she had injured herself while sleeping, but the mask kept appearing again and again and again. Soon, nightmares followed. Every night she dreamed of a tall woman standing at the foot of her bed. The woman wore black clothes. Her face remained hidden. She never spoke. She only stared, watching, waiting. Every night the figure moved closer. The little closer, a little closer, and a little, until one night the woman stood beside the bed. Chidera woke screaming. Her room was empty, but fresh scratches covered her neck. The villagers became concerned. An elderly woman named Neka noticed something unusual. One afternoon, she pulled Chidera aside. My child, tell me the truth. Chidera hesitated. Then she told her everything: the cruelty, the nightmares, the scratches, the fear. Nneka's face darkened. She had lived long enough to recognize evil when she saw it. That evening, she secretly watched Mama Ifoma. Near midnight, she followed her. The woman walked alone toward the old forest, the same forest villagers avoided after sunset, the same forest surrounded by stories of dark practices and hidden secrets. Nneka hid behind a tree. What she witnessed made her blood run cold. Mama Ifoma knelt beneath an ancient tree. She spoke strange words, placed objects on the ground, then called Chidera's name. Again and again and again, the wind suddenly became violent. Branches shook, leaves twisted, and something that seemed to move among the trees. Nneka fled before she could see more. The next day, she gathered village elders. Together, they confronted Mama Ifoma. At first, she denied everything. Then, witnesses came forward. Others had seen her visiting the forest. Others had heard strange chanting. Others had noticed her hatred towards the child. The truth slowly emerged. The woman had become consumed by jealousy. She hated the love Obinna had for his daughter. She wanted Chidera gone. Not because the girl had done anything wrong, but because envy had poisoned her heart. When Obinna learned the truth, he broke down in tears. For years he had ignored signs, the sadness in his daughter's eyes, the fears, the silence, the suffering. He had been present, but he had not been paying attention. And his child had paid the price. He immediately removed Mama Ifoma home from the home. The villagers never fully trusted her again. Some say she left the village shortly afterward. Others stranger stranger things happened. No one knows for certain. As for Chidera, healing took time. The nightmare did not disappear immediately. The fear remained for months, but slowly life returned, the laughter returned, the hope returned, and eventually so did peace. Years later, Chidera became a teacher. She dedicated her life to helping vulnerable children, especially those who suffered silently, because she knew what it felt like to carry pain nobody else could see. Not every danger and on not every danger announces itself loudly. Sometimes suffering hide behind closed doors. Sometimes people who need help smile while they are hurting inside. Many children today face emotional abuse, neglect, manipulation, or cruelty from adults who should protect them. Their wounds may not always be visible, but they are real. The story reminds us that silence can protect wrongdoing. People must pay attention, listen carefully, observe changes, and never ignore signs that someone may be suffering. So, guys, if someone has treated you unfairly, remember this: their cruelty does not define your worth, their hatred does not determine your future. The people who hurt others often carry darkness inside themselves, but darkness never lasts forever. Pain can shape you, but it does not have to destroy you. You can survive difficult seasons. You can heal. You can grow stronger. And one day, the tears that nobody understood may become the reason you help someone else survive their own storm. Just like an African proverb says, The fire that burns another person's heart eventually reveals the face of the one carrying the torch. Evil may hide for a time, cruelty may escape notice for a while, but truth has a way of finding the light. And in the end, kindness always leaves a better legacy than wickedness. No matter how dark the night becomes, morning eventually comes, and that is the end of the story. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's time to camera so that telling the story. Hi, guys. Yeah, darkness does not last. Morning shall surely come. That's it. Okay, I'm actually so tired, guys. Tired. Let me small game, John. I don't know which one. Good processor challenge. Um. Okay, let me play this. My mic can hear me. Oh, I have to end the game because I thought it was showing me something else. Somebody circles, circles. Let me play a little music. I'm a lover of music and storytelling. I love storytelling. I love music too. So Ooh. Let's check this.
Oh my God. Children of God, oh. Daughters of the living God. With my Savior, never get to hide me. I am from the sun and darkness, He will hide me. In the hollow of His hand, in the hollow.
Okay, so I have to go offline. Offline. Bye. Good night, guys. Good night, guys. See you guys tomorrow.